drums rock. Cold burgers face on every screen, a villain or a pawn. You're screaming in the comments, but the heart's long gone. Monetize the bloodshed, stack that ad cash high. While Maddie's dreams and Kaylee's life just wither up and die. Burn it down, this toxic flow. You're selling out their souls for a viral show. Maddie Kaylee Xana Ethan lost in your disgrace. We're choking on your bullshit, spitting shame in your face. Graveyard glow, you're killing their lives. Forgotten in the static of your endless fight. Armchair detectives, yeah, you're playing CSI, spewing half-baked theories while their families cry. Kohlberger's guilty, he's framed. You love the fucking game, but Santa smile on Ethan's heart ain't fuel for your fame. You're dropping hashtags, chasing clout. It's a digital disease, turning tragedy to content, bringing justice to its knees. We're sick of your obsession, your drama's a disgrace. You're dancing on their graves, got their blood on your face. Burn it down, this toxic flow. You're selling out their souls for a viral show. Maddie Kaylee Xana Ethan lost in your disgrace. We're choking on your bullshit, spitting shame in your face. Graveyard glow, you're killing their lives. Forgotten in the static of your endless fight. We're screaming for their voices, but you're too deaf to hear. Maddie's laugh, Kaylee's spark, drowned in your fucking sneer. Xana's strength, Ethan's soul, buried in your lies. You're a pack of hyenas, feasting while their memory dies. Shame on you, you greedy fucks, for twisting up their pain. Shame on us for clicking, feeding this infernal flame. We're all part of the sickness, this digital decay. But I'm done with your circus, I'm breaking away. Burn it down, this toxic glow. You're selling out their souls for a viral show. Maddie Kaylee Xana Ethan lost in your disgrace. We're choking on your bullshit, spitting shame in your face. Graveyard glow, you're killing their lives. Forgotten in the static of your endless fight. Maddie Kaylee Xana Ethan whispered through the haze. We failed you in the spotlight, lost in this toxic maze. Turn off the screen, kill the glow. Let their names rise again. But we're too deep in this hellhole. Shame's our only friend.
Scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your ass.
That was a victim impact statement at Brian Kohlberger's sentencing. That was one of the victim's sisters telling him exactly what he is the most afraid to hear. That woman clearly paid attention when they talked about his psychological makeup and what is actually wrong with that disgusting creature upstairs. She dissected him for about 7 minutes straight and reduced him to nothing, which is what he always was. He murdered 3 girls and 1 guy in their sleep while they were in their beds, and now it's his turn because he's got 4 life sentences, and I guarantee you they're going to return that type of treatment
as a trauma
when he gets to
therapist,
prison.
I need to talk about what happened in that Idaho courtroom today with Kaylee Goncalves' sister specifically. Her name is Alivea, because she just gave us a masterclass in refusing to be victimized twice. So if you've ever been victimized by somebody with some personality traits like Brian Kohlberger, take notes, because as she stood there, she made a choice that goes against every expectation that we have about victim impact statements. Instead of tears, she showed her fury. Instead of vulnerability, she chose power. Instead of giving him what he wanted, which was her pain, she gave him what he feared most, which was complete dismissal of his significance. And I mean no shade to anybody who shared vulnerability or tears. It's completely valid. But what she understood that most people miss is that individuals with narcissistic or antisocial traits don't just want to hurt you. They want to own your reaction. They collect your tears, your fear, your breakdown as proof of their power, and their emotional display becomes their validation. But Alivea refused to play that game, and she looked at someone who took everything from her family and said, "You don't get my tears. You don't get my fear. You get nothing." Then she did something even more psychologically devastating. She systematically dismantled every piece of his constructed identity. She called him ordinary when he believed he was exceptional. She called him basic when he thought he was complex. She called him a wannabe, and his entire ego depends on that feeling of superiority, assuming that he has a personality trait, which he probably does. For someone who likely views himself as intellectually superior, being called painfully average by his victim's family member cuts deeper than any emotional display ever could. And it's not just about the one case. This is about understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to refuse to give someone the satisfaction of your pain, because your healing isn't their entertainment and your breakdown is not their validation, and your power was never theirs to take. So if someone has tried to make you feel small, or to feed off your reaction, or to convince you they hold power over you, remember this moment. Sometimes the most radical act is refusing to perform your pain for those who caused it. Your refusal to give them what they want isn't cold. That's powerful, and it is taking back what is yours. Again, I want to say that there's nothing wrong with anybody who shared vulnerability and pain. That is completely valid. But I am so glad that he was able to hear some statements like Alivea Goncalves's, because she ate.
If you didn't have the chance to see the sentencing of Bryan Kohberger, one of the most powerful, by far, moments was Kaylee's older sister. If you need to be inspired today, then you need to see the most incredible strength of one single person in this world. I'm gonna put this clip on here for you to watch. And I have to tell you, I felt her anger, I felt her pain, I felt her remorse, I felt her frustration, but I have to tell you, her strength was second to none. Take a look at this video, and then you tell me exactly what you see.
The scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass.
I am just getting off, and honey, I could not wait. I damn near went to my car when I was done watching the shit because it was so hot off the freaking press. The BK family impact statements and the sentencing of this fool. And I ain't gonna say his name no more either. I'm gonna call him BK because that's what the Goncalves said to call his ass. Some told me to take notes. And baby, when Steve Goncalves got up there and he turned that bench around and he faced that fucker head on, I said, oh, this is about to be good. Start taking notes, bitch. So I started taking notes. It started out real good, and everyone was giving their impact statements. It was nice. But I knew it was gonna be turned when the Goncalves got up there, honey. When that daddy faced him, first of all, I wrote down the whole family faced him, okay? So the daddy kicked it off. And baby, we all seen it. We all seen that sister, honey. Baby, she dropped the mic on that bitch. Dropped the mic on him. She told him Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. And you know what? Shout out to the judge. Because it was getting spicy. And I was like, is the judge gonna stop this? And then there was another daddy too. I want to say that this was Xana's dad. No. Xana's dad was drunk. Excuse me. This was Xana's stepdad. He said, I want to reach out to you. Hello, he wasn't talking about no motherfucking phone call. He was talking about, he said, I want to go in the woods. Let me go in the woods with you. He said, I ain't gonna unalive you. I'm not gonna unalive you because that would be ungodly of me. That's not for me to do. I am not the person to pass down judgment of when it's your time to go in life. So he said, but let me get you in the woods, honey. And then poor Xana's dad, I'm sorry, was drunk. And then when he made the statement about he was supposed to come over, but Xana told him don't come over because she didn't want you drinking and driving, I said, oh yeah, he drunk. Because honey, if Xana was telling you on November the 13th, don't drink and drive, honey, on July the 23rd today, he was drunk. Now, my condolences to him. I understand what he going through, but honey, he was definitely drunk. Xana's biological father was drunk up in the jail, okay? And I do see that some of the kids' dads, I want to say Xana's dad didn't seem like he was, around all the time, but they still had a good relationship. It almost seemed as if like the child was stepped in as the parent. It was two dads like that, because one of the other dads said that he dealt with substance abuse issues also, and that I want to say it was Madison's biological father. So it definitely seemed as if Madison and Xana probably had something relating that they could have bonded over, with them being more of a parental figure to their fathers, who just probably didn't step into that fatherly role as they should have. But the girls never shunned them for it. It seems like the girls were good kids to their dads, and it was what it was. We all out here got fucked up daddies that we love, you know what I'm saying? I make a choice to be in my dad's life, but he ain't the best. But she called him, the sister, Kaylee's sister called him a wannabe, basic, pathetic, not profound. She said painfully average, dumb, stupid, sloppily clumsy. Baby, listen, I couldn't even, first of all, then the mama come through with the back door, and she said, I wish we could have let that firing squad get a hold to you. Okay? Then she said, the big D's in prison gonna get a hold to you. Okay? The big D's in the prison. Then, baby, the grandma Goncalves said that you are a demon from hell. Okay? It said, burn in hell. And this was a written statement. She wasn't even there, honey. I said they definitely want him to die and get in jail. Listen, they got it. And then I'm kind of concerned with whether or not the Goncalves, it seems like, baby, they kind of tapped in Idaho. They might know some boys upstate that's gonna touch him. You know what I'm saying? But I also said they need to be careful with that. They need to lay low a little bit, because, it is some hater ass cops that, just do stupid investigations on people or whatever. They just don't want their names and nothing pertaining to Brian being unalived in prison. But it sounds like the Goncalves is tapped in, baby, and somebody might touch him in jail, and they might have had something to do with it. I don't want to say that, but it just seems as if it's some mob ties going on up in Idaho that I don't know nothing about. Okay? But they talked about, the judge was in tears. The lawyer was in tears. They talked about, the judge said that he was an incompetent killer. How you gonna be an incompetent? Well, you got caught. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I wrote city swoon. I don't know. But you see my notes, okay? I was writing so fast, the shit looked like chicken scratch. I was writing so fast, the shit was good. This is how you do an impact statement right here. I mean, listen, you gonna get up there, you gonna cry, you sad, you gonna tell about how you know, memories of the person. But you know what? It's about time to start getting up there and really, I'm going the wrong day. Oh no, I'm not. And really letting these sick fuckers have it. And baby, the Goncalves family, they didn't come to play. And Xana people didn't come to play either. That stepdaddy, he said, I hope you can feel. He beat on his motherfucking chest. He said, I hope you can feel the energy I'm surging through you. He said, meet me in the woods, you punk boy. That shit, I'm getting chills. Because that shit was fire. That shit was fire. F-Y-E. Fire. Put in the comments if y'all watched it. Put in the comments what y'all thought about it. We got to chat about this. This shit was fire. Fire. F-Y-E, goddamn. That shit, I was at work with the earpieces in. I had somebody message me on Teams talking about, you okay? I said, because baby, I was loud with it, okay? And I had to tell her, I say, I'm listening to impact statements. You know, they know I'm true crime all day up in here. I was just listening to the impact statements on Stephen Stern's nasty ass. And I did make a video about that. I'm going to post that too. But, yes, let's chat it up in the comments. Because this was amazing. This was amazing, honey. Yes.
Take
baby,
notes
let's go.
from Kaylee's sister. She got up there, and in my experience, most statements are more of a very sad, which is understandable, not shaming them at all, very sad, emotional, almost sobbing recollection of who this person was and what they meant to them, and how much they are hurt and how sad they are that they're gone, and it's more of an appeal to the judge. Hey, judge, please don't take it easy on this sicko, right? Which I get. My light's flickering. Hang on. Which I get. But let me tell you something in this instance. Kaylee's sister, she's playing chess, not checkers. She went for the throat. She said, okay, Brian's taking a plea. We want him to go to trial. We want him to get the death penalty. He's taken a plea to avoid the death penalty. We don't get the death penalty. We don't get what we want. We don't get his testimony. We don't get answers. We don't get closure. We don't get the whys, the whats, the hows, everything we need and want as the family to move on and close this book of hurt. We don't get any of that because this idiot's taken a plea deal. So am I going to get up here and boo-hoo and you know, this, and yah. No, because she knows. And again, no shame to anyone who did get up there and cry. And I mean, please, stay with me now. She said, I'm going to play chess, not checkers. That's what he wants. He loves to hear that. He's probably relishing in that. She said, I'm going to take a different route. She said, I'm going to hit him where it hurts. I'm going to attack his ego. I'm going to slice through his facade and who he thinks he is and who he tried to be and cut him to pieces from the inside out. And that she did. He is never going to forget that speech. He is never. I'll probably never forget that speech. So I know every day in his cell, he will never forget that speech. And I'm honestly, genuinely surprised that he kept his composure the entire time listening to the entire 6 minutes, over 6 minutes of that speech, and didn't have a single reaction, didn't lash out, because I know he wanted to. I just know he wanted to. I know it was eating him up, the things he was saying. Take a look for yourself if you hadn't seen it. I'm not going to play the whole 6 minutes, because I assume everyone's posting this because it's an amazing speech. So you might have already seen it, but I'll give you just a quick clip or two.
Did you recently start shaving or manually pulling out your eyebrows? If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it like needing this much attention just to feel real? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always feared? Nothing. If you're so powerful, then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser who thought you were so much smarter than everybody else. Constantly scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, nitpicking and criticizing others. You wanted so badly to be different, to be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious. You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin. Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking... Thank you.
Thank you.